Well, hey now, everybody. It's the Rob from 106.1 Kiss FM here with my tag team partner in podcasting, Mr. Wonderful Jerry Valeri. Good morning, Jer.
Good morning. We're a little late because I had to be community-minded today, and we do a thing with the United Way called the Day of Caring, where all these organizations go to nonprofits and like do their landscaping or paint and stuff like that. And instead of doing manual labor, I get to just go out, give hugs, take pictures, and hand out Gatorade. So that was good.
Sweet.
My kind of manual labor.
Yeah, thanks for being a part of the show today. I know our schedules aren't always easy with Fall Fest this week. Mine's been a little tough too, but got a free studio right now since Ryan's broadcasting live at the Fall Festival. So
excellent. Fall Festival seems like such a great time to be in Evansville.
Really? You want to come down sometime?
I definitely do. Fall Fest, I think, would be great. And I would get in one of those motorized scooters and just ride around eating food all day.
Shotgun on the back, baby.
Yes, I'll get a sidecar. Because I was out, my sheet is empty. And so I'm going to fill it in as we go.
Okay.
So that's what it looks like so far. It's bare because I don't remember all the matches.
Well, then maybe since I've already got my sheet filled out and I don't want to wave it too clearly, why don't you want to give predictions for? I'll give you the match. You give me your prediction, and then I'll tell you mine since I'm already locked in on my paper.
Okay. Okay, great. Do you still want me to keep track on mine or no?
Please, if you don't mind.
Okay, go for it.
And also wanted to say, surprisingly, I filled it out this morning. I had an incredibly difficult time. One specifically gave me a hard time, but this was a very, very tough show for me to predict this time.
I thought this was going to be an easy one, and it ended up being a little harder than I thought, but it's still not that hard.
Only two matches really jump out at me, and it's probably the two main events as being easy to call. And I'll be surprised if we disagree on the last two matches, but it's quite possible we'll have some early on. Don't have a ton of confidence in my picks, but I made them, and I feel like some are bold, some not so much. You want to jump into things?
Yeah, let's go right for it.
When I Googled what the card was, I was surprised to find a kickoff match. I wish they'd kind of let us know some of these sometimes, but I've got 8 matches total. A kickoff match being Shelton Benjamin and Chad Gable taking on the Hype Bros.
Okay.
And since I'm going to yield to you for all these with these, so I've got mine circled. Who do you have in Gable and Benjamin taking on Mojo and Ryder?
It makes no sense for Gable and Benjamin to lose, especially since I feel like they've been teasing a Hype Bros breakup for a while. This will just fuel that more, and I go with Gable and Benjamin.
Yeah, I wanted to say, I kind of went the same way you did. It just seems like the Hype Bros are on the splits, and I can't see them winning. Under normal circumstances, I don't think Benjamin and Gable will be together for all that long, just because I don't think Benjamin's going to be here for more than a year. So, and I always feel like those guys are usually used in enhancement positions. Nothing wrong with that, but that's kind of been the lot for these guys. But I do think this time it's going to serve a greater purpose of splitting up, or at least aiding to the split up of the Hype Bros.
Right.
So we agree.
We agree.
Okay. All right. And then we get to the main show. And I guess I'll just go in the order that I have them in.
Okay.
Because, and I kind of wanted to wait for this one because this is the single match I had the hardest time predicting. This one's so tough for me. I filled everything out. I'm telling you, it took me like an hour to figure out what I wanted to say on this one. We do take our Lock of Destiny very seriously, and you do have it right now. The match is Bobby Roode taking on Dolph Ziggler. And it's a match I feel like neither one of these two guys can lose. I'll give you more of my thoughts here after you give me your prediction. I'm curious if we agree. Neither answer is crazy to me. What do you think, Jer?
It totally makes sense for Ziggler to be the no one's as good as me, no one's as good as me. When the bell rings, you can't beat me. It really hurts him if he loses here. It just does. But I still have Bobby Roode winning.
Okay. Interesting. I have Dolph Ziggler winning.
Glorious.
But I want to tell you, I have no confidence in this. And I don't know why I'm sticking by this, but here's my rationale.
It's not crazy, dude, because I considered it. I really did.
Yeah, I don't think either answer is crazy. And here's where I'm thinking, and here's how I'm thinking when it comes to this match. I feel like if Dolph loses this match, it's going to kill his gimmick. And I think that he's onto something here. And I think that the office probably recognizes that. With Bobby, while it may feel like he's coming on soft as far as, you might want his first pay-per-view match to be a victory, I don't feel like it will kill him the way it would kill Dolph's gimmick. And that's also assuming that the WWE does what I feel is the right thing, which they rarely do.
They haven't always, no.
So I had a tough time with this one. By far my biggest internal wrestling match, and I'm sticking with Ziggler.
Okay, here we go.
So there we go. The next match I have is Randy Orton taking on Rusev. I look to you.
Boy, I couldn't care less about a match ever. This one's so boring to me. It's easy to say that Randy Orton will win it because that's how they book Randy Orton, just RKO out of nowhere. But I think that it's time for Rusev to start getting some wins. And so it just feels like this is time for Rusev. He's been underneath this whole feud. He keeps getting knocked out every time I turn around. He's going to beat Randy Orton.
Interesting. I disagree with a lot of it. And I disagree with the outcome. I've got Orton on my sheet, and I didn't give it a lot of thought. And I do believe that Rusev could really use the win, but Orton's coming off some big losses, and I know he just beat Rusev at SummerSlam. That was almost a non-match, to be honest with you. With Orton's high-profile losses to Jinder, but still, for some reason, a high stand in the company still. I feel pretty confident on this one that Orton's going to win. That's the way I feel.
So far, we've disagreed, but both times I can see your point. Yeah. Like I'm not 100%. I don't feel good about either of my answers, but I do feel like that's the best probability.
I feel like you've got the safe bet with Rude and Ziggler, but I've got the safe bet with Orton and Rusev. That's just my opinion.
That's what it looks like. Sure.
All right, let's keep going. WWE Women's Championship. Natalya taking on Charlotte. This one also not easy, man. What do you think? What are you thinking?
Oh God, I hate to annoy you. I never want to annoy you.
What do you mean?
But I feel like this. So I feel like Charlotte's going to win, but we could have a Money in the Bank. Like,
hey, first of all, you're not someone who shouts that all the time.
But I have every time so far. Like I thought so. I thought so at SummerSlam too. It just they're really pushing it with Carmella. They're doing it the right way with her, and maybe it's not time yet for her to cash it in.
What have they done differently this month than they've done for any other pay-per-view since she's won?
Well, no. I mean, with her from the beginning, they've done it right with Carmella from the beginning of her winning.
No, I understand that, but you said they're really pushing hard for this.
Every time she's been involved in every match. Like usually it's a surprise. Like they're not involved in the feuds with the championship. And Seth Rollins had absolutely nothing to do with Roman Reigns or Brock Lesnar leading up to that WrestleMania. And then he just showed up and said, "It's mine now." Carmella is just there at all times. Every time you see that championship, you also see the briefcase. Like they're really reminding you who has it, and she's always standing there, and it's always prevalent. And that's partly their fault because they only have 4 women on the roster, and they're always booked in the same matches. I think Charlotte wins. I think it's time for Charlotte to be champ. I don't like her as a face, whatever. Charlotte's champ.
Okay, I agree that Charlotte will win. I don't necessarily agree on the cash-in, but the reason I find it annoying when people do that is because there's very rarely rhyme or reason as to when it does happen. So if it does happen, I'll be equally as surprised as when it would happen any other time. So right. I'm not predicting.
So I'm not predicting that it will be a cash-in. It's just annoying for me to even say that it's a possibility, but it is a possibility.
I'm sticking with Charlotte. My reasoning here, I almost had Natalya just because I feel like there's not really a feud here. I just feel like there's just not much, and I feel like when there's a good storyline purpose for a title change, that's when they usually happen. Natalya does feel like a sore thumb champion in that when she won, we were all really kind of aghast that it happened. It didn't really make a lot of sense. The only thing that did seem to make a lot of sense was that we were giving her the title because it's probably her last hurrah. A title run like that probably doesn't need to be very long. And I can see them kind of maybe resetting the roster here shortly. They got Asuka coming up on the Raw side. Raw kind of doing things a little differently. I feel like they're just gonna end. I don't think they have a long time plan for Natalya as champ. And even though there's not a whole lot of storyline reason as to why Charlotte needs the belt right now, I see her winning it on Sunday. So we agree.
Yeah, she's the winner because Charlotte. I think that's really the answer.
I think she's I would say whoever Natalya would be fighting, I would go with them because they're not Natalya, actually.
Right.
So,
okay.
And Charlotte, of course, makes a lot of sense, I feel like. Very logical champion. She's probably my favorite female wrestler of all time, personally. Another one that I don't find easy, match number 5, AJ Styles and his U.S. Championship on the line against Baron Corbin, who's been a super polarizing figure here lately to, which I'm sure you didn't forget about when you made your prediction. Don't know. I mean, like, I don't know when people get over this. People being in the office. I know we fans aren't mad at Corbin for anything specifically, but he's clearly being punished, and that's okay. But those don't last forever. Triple H has been punished in the past. He's about to own the company. Run the company is probably a better word to say it. Other guys have been punished. Look at Enzo, also kind of being punished by being demoted to 205 Live. He's arguably at his career high. So these things don't last forever. So Jer, with that being the frame of this match, what do you think happens?
This is not the end of the menage a trois between Baron Corbin, AJ Styles, and Ty Dillinger.
Ty Dillinger. Tay Diggler, did you say?
I said Tay Diggler. Whatever. My brain is fried today.
The perfect 7, Tay Diggler.
Tay Diggler.
The mediocre 7.
The mediocre 7. No, perfect 10. I think Dillinger's going to show up. I don't know why. I don't know how. I don't know what's going to happen, but I do think that at the end of this match, Baron Corbin will be the United States champion. So I'm picking Baron Corbin to beat AJ Styles by hook or by crook, but I think it's going to happen. And frankly, I think it kind of needs to shock it in the arm a little bit.
That being the title? Shock? Yeah, okay. I certainly agree that the title needs a shot in the arm because I forget that it's there. And of all people to have it, AJ Styles, you'd think it'd be in better shape, but it's really not at a high point by any stretch of the imagination right now. AJ Styles might be my favorite wrestler on TV right now. And Corbin, I don't even know if it's part of the punishment anymore, but it just feels like they're still not where they want to be with Corbin. Can we agree on that?
Yes. I think where they want to be with Corbin is Mr. Money in the Bank. They wanted him winning the championship this year. I think that's where they wanted to be, and then they realized that they weren't there for backstage reasons and maybe also on-screen performance. They just didn't think he was as ready as they thought he was. But I think they're gonna groom him up a little bit. They put him in the ring with what you said I agree with, arguably one of the best wrestlers on the roster on both shows, and they're giving him a high-profile feud that is not helping AJ any. I think Baron's going to win the title.
Okay, I don't. And as we were talking about that, one point I was trying to make was, it's really stupid if you do see Corbin, not you, but as the company, if you do see Baron Corbin being champion sometime this year or in 2018, and you wanted to use the Money in the Bank as the vehicle to do that, it's stupid to change what your plan was simply because you wanted to punish. Don't punish yourself to punish Corbin.
I've always wondered why they do stuff like that.
Yeah, it's just kind of weird to me. But I have this being, I think, maybe less climactic than you have it being. I mean, there could be a run in from, the Perfect Seven, Tay Diggler or whatever his name is. But that
I'm never gonna live that one down. I have just fried today. You know
what my favorite? I know you can tell we both have had a long day so far. What I think is oh man, I just had a point and then I lost it. I apologize for that. It was going to be a good one too.
Today's post to post is a perfect 6.5. we're 6.5.
My favorite one of your faux pas along the lines of Tay Diggler was when you thought R-Truth's catchphrase was "Say what."
Say what? Say what?
And it's hold on, what is it? What's up? Yeah, and you thought it was "Say what," and you're going, and you're like, why are you not going with? You got the look on your face like, Rob, why are you not going with this here? And I've got the look on my face like, why do you keep saying "say what"? That was my favorite. Was what I was trying to say.
Happy birthday, Jake the Snake Roberts. Anyway, happy birthday, Jake.
Because when you were building up your reasoning for this match and talking about maybe some interference from Ty Dillinger, that would lead me to think that AJ will retain. Because if it is an interference, I would lead me to believe that the champion will retain by disqualification.
I think there's going to be a distraction. I think it's going to work. Because right now there's no real heat between Dillinger and AJ. And if they're going to have a good triple threat, all three have to dislike each other. And I think that's where it's going to come from.
Okay. All right, then. So you've got Corbin.
I've got Corbin. We disagree on 3 matches so far.
Yeah, and that's most. 3 out of 5 so far. I dig that.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to our first Hell in the Cell for the Tag Team Championships. And correct me if I'm wrong, New Day is champions, correct?
Yes.
Taking on the Usos. And I had a tough time with this one. And then I had an epiphany. And I feel like I'm safe now. I feel like I chose the right answer, but I've already got mine written down. What is Valeri's answer?
The only reason I picked this, because that could go either way. And I'd like it to be known that they've wrestled, on like the last 3 pay-per-views?
Ad nauseum is how I would describe it.
And I've picked their match wrong every time. I've gotten it wrong every time. I think the Usos are going to win and the New Day wins. I think New Day's got it and the Usos win. And the titles just keep going back and forth and back and forth. And this is it. This is the final chapter. They're done after this. They've said as much. And I don't think that the title's going forth. So I'm going to say that New Day is going to win. They're going to retain the titles. I hope the Usos can maintain whatever steam they've developed. Because I know I'm alone here in the post universe, but I like what the Usos have been doing. I like their look. I like their look. I like their attitude. I like their promos. Their in-ring work is good. They've got this heel thing down. I would like. I actually think it would benefit Roman Reigns if he just turned straight over heel and the 3 of them would just be like a Samoan wrecking crew. I think that would be cool. Won't happen. But I just think
I know why I would like it.
Because Roman Reigns would be on SmackDown.
I know I would be turned on by that.
I know I. Got it.
Glad you got that. Say what?
Say what?
Hey,
Diggler.
So,
Hey.
Do you have more you want to add to that?
Not really. I think New Day's going to win because they're already the champs. I think it's going to be a barn burner of a match. It could be the best match on the card. It really could be. I think New Day wins.
New Day. Yes, it could be. All right. So yeah, I had a tough time with this one. I'm trying to think about what my track record is with predicting their pay-per-view matches too, and I don't think it's good. I don't know if I've gotten them all wrong, but I don't think I've gotten them mostly right. I want to point out I enjoy personally when we disagree on these things, and you can knock this down as another disagreement because I do think the Usos are going to retain. If you want my reasoning why, here was the epiphany I had.
Usos Penitentiary.
That's the exact word I was about to say. The Uso Penitentiary. That's been kind of the gimmick here lately.
Oh, really?
That's exactly what I'm thinking. The Uso the term Uso Penitentiary that they keep working into every one of their promos doesn't really make a lot of sense until you think about them maybe winning the titles back in literally a cell, a penitentiary.
I think it benefits them more to have the belts. I do.
And well, there's that. I agree with that too. I think the belt. I think that the Usos need the belts more than New Day does. New Day's really proven themselves over time as the Usos. I think they're kind of improving here lately. And I don't want to make it seem like I'm anti-Usos or anything like that. I just feel like they're getting to where they need to be, but they're just not quite there yet. Especially with their characters and their personalities and their promos, they're getting better. I think they can do better still, in my opinion. Okay, so I've got, plus I just feel like, when you do highlight reel videos and, you flash back to stuff, like it just feels like a Hell in the Cell just looks good when you talk about title changes and stuff. I just feel like the stage is set for the Usos to go over on this feud, essentially. So, what do you think about that?
I haven't felt like you've been dumb yet. I haven't been like, oh, I don't know what you're thinking. Not yet. So I mean, you're making sense. I could have easily gone with Usos. I just don't think they're going to move the belt again. I don't think they're going to make them the 5-time champs. I just don't see it.
Yeah, that's what Sasha Banks said. Know what I mean?
And then she has about 17 times. She has it more than Ric Flair.
So, all right, let's get to the last two. From an excitement standpoint, I'm the least excited to talk about these two matches. You may surprise me, but I'll be surprised if we disagree on either one of these, and I'll be surprised if we're wrong on either one of these. But let's go ahead and get things started. WWE Championship match, Jinder Mahal defending against Shinsuke Nakamura. Jerry Valeri, I don't know what you're going to pick for this one. I think it's Jinder. I think don't hinder the Jinder. It's not time to take the belt off him yet. But you never know. I mean, remember they gave the Universal Championship to Finn Balor in his first pay-per-view. So you don't know what they're going to do with Shinsuke. I think Shinsuke's not ready, and I've heard. It goes back to the John Cena thing where he was a little snug on John Cena and a little careless, and he hurt him. I thought, and I forgot to mention it yesterday, I thought he was a little reckless with the Singh brothers. He threw one of them neck first into the ropes. He's King of Strong style, man. Safety's out the window, man.
He's a little careless, and I'm sure they take note of that in the back. Also, like his promos are just the worst. And I understand that English is a second, maybe a third language for the man. But he comes out and Renee Young asks him a question, and he's just like,
"Yep.
See, Dick, run." Jack and Jill ran up in here, get a pan of water, and the whole place goes bananas. Like he's practicing nursery rhymes.
Yeah.
He's not cutting promos. I just don't get it. And boy, I was walking the Jinder Mahal line there with my impression. I didn't know what to do there. I was walking the Jinder Mahal line. I had to back off it.
Well,
I think Jinder wins. I do.
I think Jinder wins. I think it's going to be a bigger deal when he loses the title, and I don't think it's going to be to Shinsuke. But if it does happen, I really don't see it happening on Sunday. That's all I got. And then I think the match that we might be most looking forward to, at least from a storyline perspective, the final Hell in the Cell will be Kevin Owens and Shane McMahon. Again, I'll be surprised if we disagree. And again, I'll be surprised if we're wrong. Jer, who do you think's going to win between Kevin Owens and Shane McMahon?
I have actually had the hardest time with this one.
So I'm shocked to hear that. I'm really surprised to hear that. Go ahead.
And the reason I'm having a hard time with it is because
Shane McMahon keeps
getting the short end here every week. And I take note of that. I take note of the way that it's been booked, where Kevin Owens is leaving Vince McMahon bloody, and then he's always leaving Shane McMahon down and dead. And I almost took Shane McMahon today. But then I thought Shane McMahon has been in so many high-profile matches. And I can't remember any of them where he actually won them.
Well, he's a former Intercontinental Champion.
No, I know, but I'm thinking about like more recently. Like I can't think of the Hell in the Cell. He doesn't win Hell in the Cell matches. He didn't beat Kurt Angle. He didn't beat the Undertaker.
He may have been European champion, by the way. I'm going to correct myself.
If they're going to really push him being Kevin Owens, he can't lose to Shane McMahon. So I'm going to take Kevin Owens.
I'm just shocked I'm shocked it took you a long time to come to that.
It did. Because this morning I was ready to tell you Shane McMahon, and I knew you were going to give me a face. But I think Kevin Owens is going to win it, and I sure hope he does.
If I was going to give you a face in this episode so far, it would probably be Orton and Rusev. But you know what? It's not crazy. I mean, they do need Rusev to get a pretty big win. But I do think that's probably the craziest one. I think McMahon would be a crazy choice. I don't see this angle going a whole lot further, so I don't see it resulting in future matches. And, I mean, Kevin's the long-term plan here. Shane's the guy who's just known for putting people over. I think rooting against Kevin Owens on Sunday is a foolish choice, personally. Did not take me long at all to think about that one.
So we both take KO.
Correct, yeah. So let's recap here real quickly. We both have, let's see, so we disagree on Rude and Ziggler. We disagree on Orton and Rusev.
Mm-hmm.
We both have Charlotte.
Yes.
You have Corbin. I have Styles.
Yes.
And then the last disagreement is I have Usos. You have New Day.
Correct.
So what's that? Half of them? 4?
Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 matches.
So that's
half of them. It could end up in a tie. The tiebreaker would be the last of these matches to go on, which I'm betting will be Orton and Rusev.
Oh, I don't know about that. Wait, is it 4 and 4 or 5 and 3?
Well, let's see. Rude and Ziggler, Orton and Rusev, Baron and AJ, Usos and New Day. That's 4.
I got it. Yeah, 4.
Yeah, I've got 4, and I'm telling you, Rude and Ziggler are going to be nice and early. We agree on the women's match. Orton and Rusev are going to use as a cooler. They're going to cool us off before the Hell in the Cell for that sucker.
All right, yeah. Whatever our last disagreement is, will be the tiebreaker today. Jared, thank you.
I hope it's not Orton and Rusev. I hope it's not.
Watch you win. I thought for sure I was going to win with Strowman being the tiebreaker, but I didn't. Anything else you want to throw in, or can I wrap it up?
I feel like we're good. We got to a 6 out of 10 star show.
It was a perfect 5.5. I give it an A-.
If we had done it in Japan, Dave Meltzer would have given us 6 stars.
Meltzer Magoo. Ooh. Happy birthday, Jake the Snake Roberts, from myself and my tag team partner, Jerry Valeri. We will see you on Monday with a recap. Enjoy Hell in a Cell, everybody. Like I said, we'll chat again on Monday. We want to know what you think's going on. Leave us your comments in the post show.
Say what?
Say what?